Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. And with that being said, welcome to the video, y'all. The Celtics win a gritty Game 5, 93-80 in Miami. There's a lot of places we can start, but I'm going to start with what the Celtics start with, Jason Tatum. Now, in Game 4's video, I put that right there in case you didn't see it. I said that Tatum has too many 0 games for a superstar. What I mean by that is that everybody has bad games, no matter if you're Kevin Durant, Giannis, anybody. But when superstars have bad games, they have to be bad games for their standards. So I gave the example of KD, right? The Celtics swept the Nets, gave KD hell for 4 games. KD was bad for 3 games, but by KD's standards. KD still averaged like 20 points. His efficiency was down, but he still was in the low 20s. You know what I'm saying? Then he exploded in Game 4, which really didn't mean anything. But that's a bad game for KD. It's like 20 points on like 18 shots. You know what I'm saying? Tatum's bad games are 10 points with like 5 turnovers and 2 assists. You can't have those type of games. And it's when Tatum has those bad games, he takes himself out the game mentally. The difference today was he had a very rough shooting performance in the first half, and just overall, I'm pretty sure he was like 7 for 20. Right, 7 for 20. But you could just tell from the start of the game, Tatum wasn't scoring, but Tatum's playmaking was excellent this game, and his head was always in the game, no matter what he was shooting from the field. He missed a couple free throws also, but that never affected him. This is where superstars get their rep. When they're not scoring, they have to find other ways to affect the game. Tatum had 9 assists, 12 rebounds, close to a trip dub, and these are the games you like to see from Tatum when he's not scoring 30 or 40 points. 22 points, came alive in the second half. I think he only had 4 coming in the halftime, so 18 points, a couple assists, couple rebounds. Just a very heady game by Tatum. Kept his head in the game despite him shooting bad. Just a great win. Had some great passes to the corner to Al Grant and Jalen. Just a great game from Tatum, even though he did not shoot that well. Next, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, still the sloppy handle. Like I said, previous videos, is just the Jaylen Brown experience. You know that's a guy that's athletic, can explode in any game at any time. But it's just like a guy with his type of quick chain handle and his ability to create space. Just sometimes it's just so sloppy with the basketball. And it makes no sense to me, because he's strong, because he has a handle, why he just can't seem to protect the ball sometimes. I said in the last game that he should cradle it like a football when he's going into the paint, especially against guys like Lowry and Gabe Vincent, who are smaller but have very quick hands. Take your 2 steps like this. Cradle the ball, 1, 2, go up however you want to. If they slap at it, they slap your arm, which is a foul. Hopefully they call it. Or you go through the contact and you go straight up. It's going to work for a 6'6" guy that's as strong as him. But besides the handle and the turnovers, Jaylen Brown came through at the exact right time. 13 points in the 4th quarter. He was just great in that 4th quarter. He kept it steady for the majority of the game. Was not shooting bad. He just wasn't shooting a lot of shots. Finished the game 10 for 19. Like we said, Brown has these tendencies to have a quarter, have a 10-15 point quarter. Game 3 was one of the rare occasions where he had it going all night. But usually Brown has a very good sense of when his team needs him to score 10 points or have a 10-point stretch or score 20 in a quarter, because he can do that, and he has the ability to. If there was a game against Milwaukee where he scored like 25 in the first half, whether it's him starting the game off hot in the first quarter or ending the game hot in the 4th quarter, these really help the Celtics. And sometimes Tatum isn't on for the whole game, and you need those points from Brown, you need those points from Horford and Terry White, 2 guys who were instrumental in this victory. Of course, we'll talk about them, but 13 points in the 4th quarter, vital. Hit like 3 threes in the 4th quarter, and towards the end, you could see him reading the game better, which I gave Tatum credit for last game. First half, of course, Brown just dribbling in traffic, losing the ball all over the place, but in the second half, you see, especially in the 4th quarter, you see him just slow down. When he catches the ball, he has somebody on him that's smaller that can't check him. He's taking his time, doing his move, surveying, then he's going. He had one where it was on Vincent, I think. Actually, he had two on him where did one snatch back, jumper, spin move, jumper. He's trying to see if it's help, where the help's coming from. He's trying to stay away from it. This just is going to lead to less turnovers if he continues to read the game like he did in that fourth quarter. Al Horford, man, granddad is just... man, this 35-year-old man is just... He's amazing, dog. He's the calming presence. He's the leader. You know, he gets things going. Especially tonight when Tatum and Brown did not score in the first half. Al was the leading scorer for about 3 quarters, and he's just so steady. You know what you're gonna get from Al every night. The stats may differ, especially the points, because tonight he gave you like 16. Last game he gave you like 5, but it's the same impact. It's the exact same impact. Defense, versatility, swinging the ball just for the sake of moving it, keeping the ball going, not trying to get an assist out of it, just swinging it for the movement of it. It just helps this offense. Him and Derek White do some of the same things where even if they're not scoring, they make an impact. But when they are scoring, it's just a bonus added to the team, and they have to take advantage of those games like they did tonight. Both games from Horford and White. Speaking of White, I've been clamoring for him to use his size in his in-between game. Tonight was a perfect example of that. Him and Horford kept the Celtics in the game score-wise when Tatum and Brown were not doing anything score-wise in the first half. White, get into the basket, doing that little spin move, like I said, and those floaters, those spin move shots in the lane, getting all the way to the hoop. Derek White, it's just like Bam sometimes, where he has the tools, even though Bam has more tools. I'm not comparing their offensive games, but they both sometimes lack aggression when they need to be aggressive. And when they do that, it's very hard for the other team to win, given the other stuff that they do on the court, which is so impactful. And when you add scoring in, it's like, damn, what are we supposed to do here? So 14 points, 5 assists for White, 16 and 7 for Al Horford. Just two guys that are vital to the success of this team. And when they play well, it's a barometer for what this team can do. And the Heat had 80 points. The defense from everyone was stellar, but especially Robert Williams, Al Horford, and Derek White. Robert Williams, who we're going on to now, is just, even when he's not 100%, the guy is still impactful as hell. Now, I know people like Bam doesn't even look at the rim when he sees Rob there. He doesn't even look at the rim. He scores on Al sometimes. Al still plays him great. But when he sees Rob lurking, he's moving away from the basket, trying to find someone to hand the ball off to. He does it every single time. And then there was 3 times where he shot over Rob, and that's a tough task. Shooting over Rob is very tough with his athleticism, his long arms, and just his timing, hence why his name is the Time Lord. The Heat shot 2 for 15 on shots where Rob was the closest defender. He does that every night, bro. Blocking threes in the corner. He got PJ, he got Gabe, just interior defense, everything. He's a second team all defender for a reason. And I feel like if he was healthy for the entire season, he would have also been top 3 for defensive player of the year with Smart. It's just, he does everything on the defensive side of the ball, even when he's not even 100% healthy. You see his impact, his offensive rebound, of course his offensive impact, which is very underrated, his passing, lob threat ability. Nobody's jumping with Robert Williams. Easy out anytime down the floor, because you could just throw it up to him. That's easy 2 points. There's a reason why he shoots like 70% for his career, because he's dunking the ball and laying it up. Has a little touch from the mid-range area, but vast majority of his shots is him jumping over people and dunking the ball. It's just that simple. So use him on offense. Defensively, he's gonna be everywhere. That's just who he is. Grant was cool. Hit some timely threes. He had a 3 from Tatum. Then Tatum hit him in the corner again. He pump fake, got a floater out of it. Great game from Grant too. Just an all-around great win for the Celtics. Last but not least, the Miami Heat. Jimmy looked more hobbled last game. He didn't look as hobbled this game, but he just did not get it going at all. And I felt like in the third quarter and in the beginning of the fourth, he was trying to be aggressive, but he was just airballing shots. I think he airballed like 3 shots. He's not getting to the line effectively anymore. He tortured us with those pump fakes and those tough drives. In game 1, shooting like 20 free throws, but credit the Celtics for adjusting to his game and not going for those pump fakes when he drives, crowding him, or just putting Rob on him or out. He's not going to shoot a lot of threes. When he does, he's not going to hit him. So just back off him. We can play Jimmy a lot like Giannis. 2 guys that are trying to primarily get into the paint those in between areas, will get right to the rim, trying to draw fouls, stuff like that. And Jimmy just, these last 3 games, is averaging 9 points on 25% shooting. And stars can't do that, and he deserves to be, you know, talked about when you do that. Tatum has a bad game, everybody's on him. Jimmy has had 3 straight duds. Hurt or not, 9 points. Everybody's hurt in this series. Just because they're playing does not mean they're healthy. Everybody's hurt in this series. Severities can differ, but everyone's hurt. And him averaging 9 points on that efficiency is just not a recipe for winning. And he will lose if he continues to play like this as the head of the snake. Bam had an okay game, but you could see that when Rob is on that back line lurking with Al guarding Bam, it makes so much of a difference. As soon as Bam sees Rob, he's no longer aggressive. And when he tries to shoot over him, he's not making it. So that's that. I felt Duncan Robinson's off-ball movement is just such a hassle, bro. Like, he is in great shape. He is in A++ shape. He's just running around. Derek White blocks his 3. He gets it right back, goes back, hits a 3. He get Tatum with one just run off the ball. He's in A+ shape, and I thought he was pretty good, especially now on the defensive side of the ball. But also with Gabe Vincent, a guy that I really started to like this year, and especially in this series. A really tough, gritty guy, actually a good defender. Jaylen Brown tends to take advantage of him sometimes, but that's only because of his size. A shooter, a guy that can create his own shot, which the Celtics have seen throughout this series, and he's 20 times better than Lowry right now. That could be because Lowry's not 100%. Lowry was an 0 for tonight, you know, not giving anything, he's a negative. But right now, Coach Spoelstra has to make an adjustment. Gabe Vincent has to start in Game 6 for the rest of the series. Gabe Vincent has to start and play the majority of the point guard minutes because Kyle Lowry's not getting it done. You say it's an injury or not, but right now this is do or die for the Heat. They have 2 games to get this straight. If they don't come out of Game 6, they're going home. Gabe Vincent needs to start. Hopefully he doesn't, because I don't want him getting that much time, because he does make a difference. But for the Heat side of things, he has to start. And it's evident that he's playing way better than Kyle Lowry right now. But overall, the Celtics, 1 more win and you are in the NBA Finals. If you beat this team up in the first half and the third quarter, if you put them to sleep early, they will fold. I have not seen the Heat have this less of a sense of urgency ever really in the playoffs. The amount of times where they just getting blown out and don't respond. Have 1 run. If you respond to that 1 run, the game is over. They'll fake fight for a little bit. This team lays down way more than I remember. All you have to do, come out in Game 6 like you came out in Game 4. If you come out with that same energy, they're going to have that 10-1 run, call a timeout, respond with your own run, and the game is over. The series is over. You head to the finals. The room for the Mavericks, extend the series a little bit. I'm anticipating Golden State is going to win that series. So if we get there, that's a tough matchup, but we all here for it, bro. The Celtics 1 game away from the 2022 NBA Finals. It's Nick here. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, share it to any and everybody that you can. And I'll see you guys for the next video. Hopefully it's a Celtics win and me discussing their NBA Finals opponent. Peace.